It's always a good thing. Yo, what's going on, baby? Culture Content is here. I'm K.
Chaz.
And we are back with another episode of Culture Content. And yo, one more time because we got our legendary guest back with us today. My man, Donel. How you doing, boys?
What's going on?
Everything's one good. Of our real quick though. Donel was rocking with us since last year, season 1. You know what I mean? Don't quote me on the episode, but I know he was here on season 1 for sure. I should know. It was like 14. It was
I was saying, 14. I'm thinking 14.
I was going to say 14.
I think it's
14. And he did a legendary, he was putting us on game about his car rental company, Level 3 Entertainment. Sorry.
No, you good. L3CS.
L3CS.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. His car rental company, booming. You know what I mean? Putting us on game, telling us how to start the car rental. We talked about all types of advertisements, techniques and things like of that sort. Even got into a deep conversation about the cyst. I love running game about the cyst. You know what I mean? But like,
you said we loved.
Nah, I mean like y'all was running, cause y'all take over when y'all cis people get together. You know what I mean? Y'all take over.
That's the one thing I can say about the cis. I definitely met some excellent people in the cis. You know what I mean? And, everybody had the same passion, wanted to help the kids. You know what I mean? So that's always a blessing when you around like-minded people like that, for sure.
That's for sure. And Donel, we appreciate you for pulling up. We talked about a couple months ago having you back on, but scheduling and conflicts and stuff like that. But you know what? No time better than the present, right? 100%. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Tell us what you've been up to. Tell us the goods, the bads, the indifference. You know what I mean? What has your journey been from last year when we shot the episode to now?
Mm-hmm. Everything's been, I'm blessed, man. I always say, first, gratitude is the most important thing. Before you do anything, you always want to have gratitude for what you have. Mm-hmm. I have a beautiful family. I have a business. I'm an agent with New York Life. So that's my second business. And then I have other avenues of revenue to where I have a cigar bar crawl that I do in Pittsburgh. That's just basically we hit a lot of different cigar bars. People buy general admission tickets or VIP tickets, but I educate people on the different levels of cigar and take them to different places, and we talk and we network. This is super dope, man. But everything I would just say, man, I'm blessed, man. I'm grateful for all the blessings that have been bestowed upon me.
100%. So I don't want to, because we spoke. I know you're a cigar connoisseur, but there's levels. We're going to wait, right? You like how I did that, right?
Yeah.
We're going to wait to get there, but we're going to start at the beginning. First and foremost, I'm going to tell you, me and Chaz, we loved your episode, by the way.
Appreciate
you know what I mean? We loved your episode. We loved your episode. It was iconic. Don't get me wrong. But I told you I had a punchline for you. It was a couple times when you was on some, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I ain't gonna lie, you was smooth talking that shit, bro. OD smooth talking. And I was just like, yo, bro, you got some good information, but you too smooth criminal right now. You hitting it, I'm like, yo, you got some good info, but I can't hear what you're saying.
Right.
And with fun and all that, we got a new mic for you. You know what I'm saying? We tested it out. You know what I mean? So we bought it just for you, but nonetheless, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you was a little bit, because you had some good gems and everything, and it was just like that one important segment. I was like, I couldn't hear you, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, that's that one time.
Gotcha.
But we got a wealth of knowledge here. You know what I mean? So just tune in with us. We got a good one coming. So let's start with the car rental.
Okay.
Tell us how that's been going. What's been running. I haven't personally seen it, but Chad saw the billboard. Mm-hmm. I know you've been getting traffic.
I just want to say, it was on Irvine Street in Hazelwood. Mm-hmm. I drove by. I seen it twice, and I thought I was seeing something. I'm like, yo, this acronym look real familiar. So I'm driving up Irvine. And I was like, hold up, make a U-turn.
Right.
I seen it again. I'm like, that's what's up, man. Like I was driving, so I mean, U-turn is illegal, but I didn't want to take out the phone and start. You know what I mean? I should have got out and did all that, but Irvine's a little busy sometimes in the afternoon, so I didn't want to make people feel too uncomfortable. But
we'll bust a U-turn anyway.
Yo, facts. As long as there's no median in the middle, I'm busting that U-turn.
Ain't no compromise.
Right.
No median.
That's all green lights. So talk to us, man. Let us know.
Yeah, so I put the billboard up. So number one, once again, I've been blessed. So been marketing and just been doing my thing and making sure I keep my vehicles clean, making sure I just do the utmost for my customers, because the biggest thing is going above and beyond for your customers, making them feel comfortable and making sure that they send people back and they're repeat customers. So that's always my intent, to over deliver. So I got with Neighborhood Community Development Fund, gave them my business plan and everything like that, and I ended up getting a loan so I can get more vehicles and have some operating capital, which allowed me to do the billboard. So forever grateful for Neighborhood Community Development Fund on the north side. My man Rich Noel hooked me up. Get with Rich, because he would, if you have a business and you have at least 2 years tax returns, he can get you right. So he can get you some money to help fund your business. And one of the biggest challenges with black businesses is access to capital. So what they're doing and helping people get approved with bad credit and maybe not have all their paperwork together, like they really go above and beyond to help the business succeed and sustain itself. So I'm forever grateful for them. But the business was doing really well. I've been growing and evolving, do community events and local events on my website. So anybody looking to advertise any events, whether it's a concert, anything that you want to promote, get a lot of foot traffic on my website. So you can always put it on my website and
for a fee.
So it's not like it's an affiliate. You have an affiliate program of some sort.
No, so it's not really an affiliate program. It might grow into that, but right now I'm just like helping people that want to get their information out there, because I get a lot of foot traffic and I do a lot of marketing. So if you want to get your information out there about an event and you charge them for it and people need to RSVP, you can do all of that stuff on my website.
Gotcha. For a fee.
Okay. Very key.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna just help out. I'm gonna advertise with you.
I appreciate it.
What I mean?
There's no fine print. There's no fine print. It's in bold print for a fee. You know what I mean?
For
but you're doing your thing in the with the call service and stuff. But we can come back to that. I want to jump ship about something. There's something on my mind. Like, obviously off camera, we was talking about our passion for kids and helping them. Top of your head, what do you think is something that's plaguing some of these kids in the community these days?
I would say one of the biggest things is just like it may be. I think it's like hope. You know what I mean? It's hope and visibility. So you can only aspire to be what you see.
That's a fact.
And a lot of
Hold on, can you say that one more time?
You can only aspire to be what you see. So what's visible to you? So a lot of people like. And it's crazy because my wife just went to Africa. She just got back. She was in Benin, and she stayed there for 2 weeks. And it's just like when you go out of the country, it just kind of opens your mind. You know what I mean? You get a little bit more perspective.
Episode 3.
Oh yeah. I definitely had one of them. Yeah.
No.
If y'all doing
international.
Y'all definitely doing your thing. I'm telling you. But it opens your mind. It brings a lot more awareness, and it puts you like into perspective shifts where you look at things. You may have looked at it one way, and then you might look at another situation completely differently.
Right.
So I say all that to say, I think the biggest challenge with our kids is that we have to kind of wean them off the media, because we got social media, we got all these like little 5-second snippets on TikTok and YouTube, and then we got TV, Hulu, Netflix. We got all of these avenues, all these different channels, and then that's like your diet. What you eat is how you live. So if you eat healthy, you're gonna be healthy. If you eat unhealthy, you're gonna be unhealthy. So the diet that they're taking in, as far as with the media, it's unhealthy, man. It's a lot of unhealthy stuff.
The unhealty diet of BS, you see.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they just act that out. You know what I mean? What we gotta do is you gotta cultivate their if you're gonna let them watch media, which you can't really stop them, but if you're gonna do it, you gotta like cultivate what you want them to see. You know what I mean? And you gotta like put nutritious diet of content out there for them, you know what I mean, to view, which y'all are doing, you know what I mean, which I give y'all a lot of props and a lot of admiration for doing what y'all doing, but it's just that this more of this, more healthy content is what we really need to kind of turn that bend. Oh, and I say when I went to when I was talking about my wife going to Africa, I say all I have to say is a lot of people have an image in their head in Africa of Americans based on the media, and a lot of people in America have an image in their heads of people in Africa based upon the media.
Not us.
And only until we come together and we like kind of talk and sit down and have conversations, and we can kind of see those myths erode away.
Wait, yeah, he's like, I'm just like you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I live in the States where they paint this image, but it's not really how I live. You know what I mean?
And you have a healthy respect for each, and they're like. She has more respect for, like, she never didn't have respect for them, but she has a healthier respect for them because she sees all the struggles and challenges and how they make that shit to, you know what I mean? They, like, bend reality to their will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They portray us, well, I heard when I was out of the country, one of the conversations I was like, why do they call y'all the United States? They're just the States. You know what I mean? What we see, there's nothing about you that seems united. You know, that's first and foremost. And then it's just like I almost messed that whole thing up, bro. But yeah, once you get out the country, you realize like, yo, we walk the same, we talk the same, we do all this. But when you constantly feeding yourself with that negative media stuff, you know what I mean? That's your knowledge base, right? So you read a book about time, you know what I mean, how to be proactive about your time, then you'll be better at that, right? But it's the same difference when it comes to like that bad media. Like you get media about countries and it's bad media, and this is what you portray. And then what I really wanted to get to was Nipsey Hussle. I mean, I know I'm a fan of Nipsey, you know what I mean? I always respect his mentality. He was always ahead of his game, but he said something that was profound to me one day. He was like, yo, the technology realm, social media and all that is far advancing than the spiritual realm. You know what I mean? So people are feeding themselves all this social media stuff, but they're not feeding themselves spiritually to get them ahead, to balance that out. And it's just like every year what happens? A new iPhone comes out, a new Android comes out,
some type of new device or something,
watch or whatever, you know what I mean? The PS, you know, all that stuff comes. Technology is just going. Yeah. But what are you doing? What are you feeding yourself outside of that? That's gonna help you, you know, feed your soul and your spirit. So I definitely felt that when you just said that. You're like,
and it's literally like you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's interesting. Two things, right? I remember being in the CIS and talking to kids about Africa, right? And they shun it so much. I don't want to be no African booty scratcher and stuff. All that like stuff you say, and it's like, I had to teach them about the Berlin Conference. And if anybody don't know that was taking place in the late 1800s, where basically 13 different countries that wasn't in Africa plan how they're gonna carve up Africa and use it to exploit them and take all their resources to use it for them. So if Africa was really this place that is African booty scratchers, or wasn't this place that was like rich in nutrients and minerals and just life, why would countries, one of the biggest countries, why would they be going over there to try to take what they have? If they wasn't nothing, why would you go over there in the first place? And I was trying to explain that to them, and they was just like, that makes sense. And what you said about the steady diet, we have a steady diet of, we can only be 3 occupations: an athlete, a rapper, or some type of entertainer. You know what I mean? So what's wrong with being a lawyer? What's wrong with being a doctor? What's wrong with being a social worker, counselor, teacher? All these type of things. Those are excellent professions that you can still make 6 figures and plus, and then you can branch off and create your own thing. But we are not taught that. We are taught to, you know what I mean, if we run fast, jump high, and stuff like that, we only can be in athletics, and we can use our gifts and talents for way much more.
And the funny thing is, real quick, I don't mean to cut you up, we're already naturally good at that.
You understand?
So we got to take it to the next step.
Got to take it to the next level. No, you got to take it to the next level because, like, they want to keep us in this one box. You know what I mean? You can't keep, circles in a square. You got to jump out and, branch off and do what you do. And it's just sad that, we only have this one track mind of thinking we can only do certain things. And it's just not cool for us. You know what I mean? Like, how we gonna be able to, you know, bring the next generation to tell them what they need to do? You can't tell them to be a rapper, you know. But if this is all they see, then that's all they want. If we grew up, if everybody in your house was a lawyer, chances are you'll be a lawyer, right? If everybody in your family was, you know, receiving doctorates, chances are you'll do the same. So if everybody's on welfare,
chances are you won't be that next welfare recipient.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just sad how in when we talk about information with the social media, you know, you gotta be careful with the information you get too, because a lot of information could be used to deceive you. So, you know, you have to have a steady diet of a balance of everything, and it's just crazy how we just really train to do one thing, but stuff is changing now, and, you know, it just need to go at a faster pace.
I agree.
Facts. So, yeah.
No, I want to, like, kind of piggyback, but take it into the direction, like, based upon the question that you asked me before, it's really people run the play that they constantly see. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you give me the play, I'm going to run the play. Even if you don't give me the play, you showing me what the play is, I'm going to run that play. You know what I mean? A lot of plays they see, like a lot of kids, you don't see the doctors and the lawyers on the street. You don't see the business owners on the street. You see the street dudes on the street.
Right.
So you see what play they're running, and a lot of kids run those plays.
Yeah.
So what my biggest thing was when I left is I gotta, like, I'm talking about it. And one of, like I said, last episode when we did it, the kids was like, you talking about business, you talking about doing this, but you ain't doing it. So that's why I was like, when I left, I started my own business. You know, I did the restaurant, and then, you know, coming into car rental. But it's just like, it takes some time to evolve and grow and kind of see where you want to be. And if you don't have the right people in your life helping you, mentoring you, guiding you, then you have books. You know what I mean? There's no excuse. There's never an excuse.
Right.
Because what happens is a lot of people make excuses like, oh, I ain't had this and nobody told me this. It's like, well, you got to seek it out.
Right.
So what happens is sometimes people get caught up and they take their ass to sit down in prison. And once they sit down, then they get the information because they ain't got nothing else to do but sit and search for the information.
Right.
But it's just like, while you out here free, take that time, sit down, and search for the information that you need to get you to the next level. And like, once again, that's why I like to start smoking cigars, because I have a dedicated time when I smoke a cigar to sit down, reflect, set new goals, and figure out what's the next level.
That's your meditation.
That's my meditation.
Yeah.
Because it's like when some people get comfortable with success, you know what I mean? They get, you know, I could have easily, last time I was here, been like, oh, I got this many cars, I'm doing this, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm making this much, I'm good with that. No. I want to break through that wall and get to the next level. I want to be, you know, up there with Enterprise, Avis, Hertz. I want to be rival. You know what I mean? When they talk about them, they talk about me.
Right.
So that's my goal. That's my.
You know, 20% of people do 80% of the job. That's what it is, right? So in a school like that, it's like you really need all hands on deck. You don't need bodies. You need people that's really out there doing stuff, because these kids are like losing their lives also, but they dealing with so much trauma on the outside, and they bringing it in here, but nobody's really checking them to let them know, like, yo, this is not really how life works, yo. You know what I mean? And, you know, they kind of just like trying to incentivize them and do different things and kind of like basically pacify it, and I don't like that. So, you know,
Once again, that false sense of reality, like, that ain't what the world works, man.
Yeah, like even on, like,
don't set them up for failure.
We, you know, like, I work primarily with middle school, but like, my name rings bells around the whole building. Like, everybody, like, yeah, high school kids see me and give me hugs and daps, and why you not downstairs? And I'm like, well, you know, I'm in middle school, you know, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff. But we don't have executions the way we should. Also, you know, like they gave a false sense of reality. Like, kids gonna use curse words and stuff like that, but if you're not checking them every single time they use a cuss word, or even, like, you know, when they be like, man, F this, you know, you be like, oh, you don't forget this, right? You know what I mean? Or, you know, instead of saying the B word, you know what I'm saying, you say, oh, you meant to say something else, right? You know, just little stuff like that. You ain't gotta be like a hard ass every time you say it, but like, you gotta like correct. Yeah, like that. What you saying is not cool. But also, it come to a point where, like, I got to a point I was like frustrated, and I was just like, yo, like, y'all really getting a false sense of reality in life, yo. What do you mean? I'm like, yo, life don't work like this, yo. Y'all in 6th and 7th grade, y'all talking crazy, y'all acting crazy. Like, y'all supposed to be happy that people treating you well. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I said, people people genuinely trying to treat you good
and love
and give you love, and you acting this to them. I said, this is not how life works. I said, I don't give a damn what you've been around for your whole life, but when somebody treating you good and it's genuine, you need to show respect back to them. You can get mad because they trying to hold you accountable, but you can. Like, there's no way in hell you should be disrespecting somebody that really want to help you. And it and people looking at me like, this nigga crazy. I'm like, no, I'm keeping it 100. Yeah. But the people that's looking at me like I'm crazy is the same people that's not willing to have that conversation, which is why I'm, I am who I am and they are who they are, and that's what it comes down to. And we got most of that on the joint.
Oh, you got that?
Yeah, I recorded all that. That was good. But we're gonna go back. You had mentioned real quick about the car rental and how one of your biggest issues was getting capital, right? Because I feel like for the culture, none of us are gonna get the capital we need to invest in our ideas and all of that. So, can you tell us just about what that process was like for you, like what setbacks you had, and how you were finally able to overcome that?
The biggest thing, like with capital, and this is with any loan or bank or anything you go. So when you're doing it in a business, your business has to be in existence for at least 2 years. You know what I mean? You have to be able to claim tax. So a lot of people be trying to write off everything and don't, just accept cash. It's like, no, you got to make sure you keep track of everything. And for the primary purpose of this is your business, you're trying to grow, you're trying to expand it. So you need to do your taxes. And don't try to get over and, make sure that you're getting everything back on your return or write everything off. Your first 2-3 years, you need to you might have to pay a little bit in taxes. You know what I mean? Then as you grow and as you expand, you start making more money, then you can start taking advantage of some of the write-offs. But those are the primary two things. You got to have in a business plan. Like, people get scared of the business plan, but I started my business without a business plan. I put the business plan together when I needed to get my loan. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So, and a lot of people won't tell you that, but I'm just being real. It's just your business plan could be a page. You know what I mean? It could be 2 pages, 3 pages, but the only thing you got to do is encompass what your business is. Your projections, your goals, your mission, your vision, things like that. Like, it don't got to be all encompassing. The people that want your business plan will tell you what they need in it if you're missing something. So yeah, man, I just submitted that pro forma. A lot of people don't know what a pro forma is, but a pro forma breaks down your operating capital, your expenses, your net, your gross, your net margins that you expect. So it's basically like it's a balance sheet for the most part, and it's projecting what you're going to make within the next 5 or 10 years. And it's saying for example, with my business, like, you're renting cars, or you selling anything else? If you sell anything else, what is that? Do you have any other expenses outside of maintaining and paying for your car? All right, if you do, what is that? So it's just numbers on paper. Right. They want to see if you're taking a loss, or if you project yourself losing money or making money. Right. You know what I mean? That's, in a nutshell, that's all it is. So there's all types of templates out there online where you can download a template for a pro forma and put all your numbers in and put the labels in for whatever you need to substitute it for. But no matter what business it is, everybody wants to see that. I want to see tax. If I'm investing in a business, I want to see a tax returns. I want to see a pro forma. You know what I mean? If you can't put that much effort into your business, then I'm not investing in it. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
And that's just making sure you checking your own records for your income. Yeah. How you really going? How you call it? You can't measure your success if you're not recording any of this information, right? Exactly. Like, so when somebody denies you, because you don't make this money, and they're like, I make money. Well, how much did you make? You you don't even know. You know what I mean? It's just like, you need to get your paperwork in order. Like, no matter how good it is, first and foremost, no business is good without a plan. You know what I mean? Like you said, you gotta have a business plan, and then the pro forma is just to add it, expenses. You know what I mean? Income you actually received, and etc. So
but let me go back to that. What you just said. Don't let that stop you. Like, I know when I was so I started my business when I was selling cars, and while I was selling cars, I'm like, it was a guy that came and did a training, and he told me about doing cars on Toro and all these cars he had. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, cool, you know, I listened to him and I took a lot of it in, but I was already thinking about this anyway. Mm-hmm. And then that just gave me some confirmation. Mm-hmm. So I did start out with them, but I don't like that platform, and I think I talked about that before. And the only reason why is they incentivize bad drivers to drive your vehicles. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the people that can't get cars from Enterprise, Avis, a lot of those other big companies, they'll come to Toro and they get a more inexpensive vehicle, and they ball your car up, you know what I mean, put all these miles on or whatever. And,
but you're getting the bottom of the barrel.
And you only getting a fraction of, like, you know, if they charge them $150, they might give you $60 or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, it wasn't beneficial for me in my business. Like, you can't really build any projections off of it.
Right. 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Once you told me that Toro thing, I segued to something else. I was like, as soon as you dropped that bomb, because you know everybody weighs their own pros and cons. But once I heard you tell me that, like, Toro wasn't it, I was like, I haven't talked about Toro since.
I didn't even realize that though, but it makes sense though, because, like, you know, I remember working for Avis, and we had a lot of people that was on the, you know, DNR list, which is do not rent
list.
Right?
I gotta list my own.
You feel me? So I remember those, like, and then, like, you know, they come and try to, like, it. And they never really specify why they don't rent to them. You know, it could be whatever reason. It could be, you know, fraud or credit, or, you know, they balled up the cars, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize that Toro basically accepts everybody. But when you think of it, if they're not being able to rent from the top people, then they got to rent from somewhere. Right. So therefore, you know, you're gonna be with those stragglers, and they're gonna be.
And Toro don't care. Like, you gotta think about it. Toro, they're not Toro's cars.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's literally just a platform that you put your car on.
Exactly.
So it can be a service to other people, but the service to other people, those other people can be doing some crazy stuff with your car.
Yeah.
So I was like that. Yeah. Right. I don't think it's a good strategy for a business, but I know my plan. My plan was to get a car, make money off the car. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that was my plan. That was my strategy, and it built and it grew, and I, you know, put some stuff on paper eventually. But the reason why I brought it up is I don't want people to get the analysis paralysis or whatever they say. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people get stuck on the plan and they don't do it.
They don't execute. Yeah.
They don't execute. It's just like, oh, but I had this plan. They see somebody else doing it. Like, oh, I had that plan 3 years ago, and this person's doing it. Yeah, but they did something about it.
They took action.
They took action. You just thought about it and then got caught up in the damn plan. So I always tell people to just do it, man. Just go for it. And speaking on that, let me go to another thing I wanted to talk about previous. So us black people in general, man, we're very creative. We have this thing called melanin. We have a high source of melanin in our bodies, and this melanin is genius. This melanin helps us. It gives us vitamins and minerals. It gives us creativity. It gives us talent. It gives us all these wonderful gifts and blessings. But a lot of times we kind of fall victim to the programming that we see on social media and television, and it subdues our natural gifts,
our natural glow,
being creative, imaginative. And that's one of the best things in the universe. More over knowledge, like, it's creativity and imagination. So the biggest thing is, like, I like to challenge people to be creative and think of different ways, because the money's out here. Like, we print money. Money is nothing. All you got to do is create something of value. If you can create something of value that people will pay for, you've created a structure of, or you've created a business in essence. You know what I mean? So, but anything can be valuable. Like, at one point in time, they had the pet rock. Right? And the pet rock was making millions.
What?
The pet rock in the 70s?
Pet rock?
It was a pet rock. Like, they literally picked the rock up off the ground, multiple rocks, and they was selling these shits. And they made $1 million selling rocks.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look it up, bro. Pet rock.
You can't even be don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I mean?
Telling you.
Like, once you find your niche, exploit it and charge for it. And then if you're good at something, charge double. Like, you know.
So people still selling pet rocks, yo.
They were selling pet rocks, bro.
Yeah,
pet rock was a thing. I mean, look at the chia pet. It was all types of weird shit.
I remember the chia pet.
Billions of dollars, dog.
Yeah. Where they at now? They ran off with the bag.
They ran off.
Bro, it don't matter. You get the
Expeditiously,
bag, you get the bag, and you start something else.
Never had no chia pet in
Like
years.
I'm the thing that really got me, and I was always, like I said, I was on vacation. This is when I went to the DR, so I got this hat.
Yeah, okay.
I
I was going to ask you about that. But later on.
So I went down there as a guy, all the fellas. We went down there. We had a good time, man. It was super dope. Probably one of the best trips I had. I ain't gonna tell you all the details.
Okay, yeah. Not on culture content.
Continue.
We'll save our DR stories for off the camera.
Continue the content.
So with DR, right, I was there and we was looking up. We was all together. We had a nice little crib on the beach or whatever, and we was looking up different like things to do while we was there because I wanted to do a cigar. I wanted to tour a cigar plantation or whatever. So I was looking all up with stuff on Airbnb because we got our thing on. We got our Airbnb. It was an Airbnb joint on the beach. So they got a thing on there called experiences, right? And there was this one dude on there that was taking you through the hood in the DR, which I was like, that's wild. Yeah, he's getting paid to take people through the hood and tell them about the culture.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but it's just like that's the creativity, man. And most of the cats down there, especially the Haitians, they speak like 6 languages.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got to eat. You know what I mean? They got to be able to because it's a high traffic tourist destination.
Right.
So it's just like, well, if they can do that here, why can't we do that here? Why can't I do that in Pittsburgh? So I went on there and I created an Airbnb experience, and that's the cigar bar crawl.
Okay.
So people that come from out of town, I got a 15-passenger van. What I do is I pack it up with everybody that from out of town that bought their tickets, and then we go to the different cigar lounges. But that's what gave me the idea. I was out of town. I was like, yo, they're doing like it was all types of wild stuff, man. They had stuff like, we'll sit there and talk to you about whatever, and it was literally like 50 or 60 experiences that you can do, and they were all between like $50 to $200.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we on the cigar topic. Talk to us how you even got into it. I remember the first time I met you, you were definitely smoking a cigar.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
can't remember what it
was. Yeah. So just talk to us about your passion and your love and how that even came about. Because you seem you're obviously doing them simultaneously. Yeah. But just tell us about that.
No, so I'm at a point in my life where I worked 2 jobs for a long time. I worked 2 jobs when like coming out of college. I probably worked 2 jobs for about 7 or 8 years. So like my work life is double what the average person is my age because I worked those 2 jobs, and it was like high impact. Very like I'm doing the grunt.
You in the trenches?
Yeah, I'm in the trenches every day. So it was like since I've done that, I'm at a place in my life now at 37 to where I'm only doing what I want to do, what I like to do. So I like renting cars. I like cars. I like renting cars. I build a business around it. I like financial literacy. I like educating people on finances. So I built a business around it. And then I like smoking cigars leisurely. So I built a business around it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You made money off of what you love to do.
That's it. So I mean, that's really what it is. And I do plan on opening a cigar lounge. So next time we talk, I will have my cigar lounge. It'll either be mobile or brick and mortar. Okay. But that's the next step. Okay. And I was talking to the guy Alan Jim at Leaf and Bean. He put me on game when he did my because when I do my cigar bar crawl, the owners and everything, they come up, and he was talking to my guys that I had on the crawl. And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Tell him how you started and everything." I was asking him similar questions, and he was like, "Well, he was like, I don't have any hobbies." He was like, "I don't really do anything, so I just like smoking cigars and drinking coffee." So similar to what I just said, he was like, "I open a business."
Right. Wow.
Yeah, around what I like to do. So and then he got with Oscar, which is a natural. They sell cigars all over the nation, all over the globe. And he was like, "I want to do a house cigar." So he did his house cigar, which is Leaf and Bean by Oscar, and then he got his Alan Jim brand as well. And he has a patent on this cigar to where he wraps it in a tobacco leaf.
That's nice.
Yeah, okay. So you gotta take the tobacco leaf off and light it and smoke it.
I remember those Dutch days. Sorry.
It's really good. It's really good, and it's really inexpensive.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's one of the things, and he's like, he never expected to blow up the way it did, but he makes like $1 million a month.
Yeah, because it's a patent. That means he get a percentage or a royalty off of everything that's. If you use that technology on your stuff, he got a percent.
But here's the game. Here's the thing that blew my mind when he told me that. And this is what because I always think thinker. I think deeper. So what he does, he got with a brand that's known all across the globe. Mm-hmm. He had them develop his house cigar. So they developed his house cigar. Once they developed his house cigar, and then they developed the other brands, they put his cigar everywhere they put their cigars.
Nice.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now it don't even matter if his business could be closed for 6 months. Mm-hmm. He's gonna make money off the cigars sold internationally by Oscar.
Regardless.
That's how you do He's always gonna eat.
Yeah, get money while you sleep.
Yeah, that's the only way you're gonna be able to make it.
But it started up here. Like, you gotta be creative. You gotta think about, okay, what do I like to do? Can I do this? And sometimes it ain't always about what you like to do. Sometimes it's about getting to the bag. Like I said, I worked 2 jobs for multiple years, and I know a lot of people in that same position. But eventually, you gotta get to the point where, you gotta grow, you gotta expand, you gotta evolve, and you gotta stretch yourself. And this is not just. I mean, I guess it's metaphorically for the spiritual realm and everything. It's just like I look at people in church. You come in. And you go to church every Sunday, and you come in, and it's just like, all right, I need this because I'm at that milk phase. But then eventually you gotta get to the point where you're eating meat, and you're not just drinking milk no more. So it's like, you're hearing it, you're getting all the information. Go do something with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, use that information, knowledge, and your elevated spirituality, and affect some lives.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't just sit here in a pew every Sunday.
Right.
But it's the same thing I look at with business and relationships and everything. Don't just get the information, use it. You know what I mean?
That's what it's all about. Like, the information we get, we should be able to share it with our brothers, our sisters, people that's in our community, and our circle, and then hopefully that circle get bigger. So if you know how to do real estate, you know how to flip houses, you know how to rent houses and do that information, you teach it to this person, you put them under the wing, they teach it to the next person, so on and so forth. That's the only way we're gonna be able to win.
Oh yeah,
that's the only way we're gonna be able to win. So,
but it's like, the I guess the key point I was making is the information and the knowledge and teaching and sharing is great. We gotta do that, but you can't just keep. All right, you told me how to flip a crib, and I'm like, oh, that was dope. I come to you and you teaching another seminar, and I go to the seminar, I'm like, oh, that was dope. Then I come to another seminar. I'm like, oh, that was like...
You keep saying this dope, but you ain't really doing your own.
It's like, how many seminars you gonna come to, dude? Right. Yeah, I know it's dope. That's why you keep coming.
You doing other seminars, but I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And that's where we get stuck in that. So it's the same thing with the business plan, that analysis of paralysis. It's like, you want to keep getting the information, you want to keep getting the knowledge. Good. That's cool. Use it though. At some point, you got to use it, and then come back and get more information to take you to the next level.
Yep.
Like, cats just be stuck right here, and they keep all of that information, and you never did nothing with it. It's just, that's sad to me. Yeah. That's the sad thing.
It's like one of the saddest things in life is wasted talent.
Man, cemeteries full of rich or not rich, smart motherfuckers, and motherfuckers with millions of ideas, but they took it to their grave with them because they ain't never do nothing with it.
Sad.
No, I don't do that. So the exchange is in person. Either you pay cash, you do Cash App, you do credit card, you do PayPal, any form of payment. Only thing I don't take is checks. Yeah, my location is on the quote. All right.
And just like that,
a Toro reject.
We take calls, business calls,
Sorry,
and we do it all on culture content. Nah, you know what? That's good, because people need to know how, if they ever want to rent a car from you, they need to have some things in line. You know what I mean? They gotta have their paperwork ready. You know what I mean? Not a business plan for this, but you need to have your ducks in order. You ain't just gonna get a car just cause, But nah, that's dope. I love the concept. You know what I mean? Like, it was simple. It wasn't. You didn't mean to do it. You know?
That was my bad. Because I thought I put it on silent.
Nah, look. If the money is calling, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So take care of the money bag. Secure the bag
put
first.
It on vibrate though.
And then we get back to business just like that.
Yes, sir.
So that was great. Glad to see you in action, still with the car rental and everything. But we last left off about the cigars, right? Now, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not a cigar person, but I do smoke cigars.
Definitely,
Especially
I'm not a cigar person. I don't want cigars.
If I'm in Mexico on vacation,
cool, right?
I am a Cuban, whoever. I like to smoke cigars on vacation. Yeah, I'm a chill. I do it in the town too, But tell us break it down, because when you go to like the winery and they got all this lingo that they wanna finesse and throw at you. And I've had a conversation with you, and you are a cigar connoisseur.
Yeah, I'm definitely a cigar.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you've definitely been initiated into that cigar realm. That's so, right. hit us with some of that lingo. Like, for a new cigar smoker, like, what are they possibly looking for? What's the terminology or the lingo people you use behind that? What are the different types of cigars? Because I have no idea. I mean, I know a little bit because you explained it to me in conversation, but like, break down the science to it so like people know, what that is. You're not just smoking a cigar or like, pick one off the shelf or nothing like that. So talk to us, educate the people.
So I would say historically, cigar has always been associated with like social status, wealth, being in a better financial position. So those are like some of the subtle nuances that go along with smoking cigars. But one of the good things I like about smoking cigars is it gives me time to meditate, it gives me time to reflect, it gives me time to think about my goals. I have a designated time because every stick, you got different size of cigars. So depending on the size of the cigar and the burn, it gives you a certain amount of time to sit down in that one spot and just relax.
What you do,
yeah. So that's one of the things I like about them. But let's talking about a beginner, somebody who never smoked a cigar before. It's like coffee. It's an acquired taste. It's not something that you just gonna smoke one time and you're gonna be like, yo, that's the best thing I ever had in my life. It's like, no, a cigar is a cigar. You know what I mean? But it's an acquired taste. Over time, you get you build your flavor profile. Okay. So most people start off with cigars. They'll start off with a Connecticut, which is very light. It's very there's a lot of smoke that comes out of a Connecticut, but it's a very light cigar. It's not a lot of depth, and not a lot of flavor in it. It's just very light. Next thing you go up to, you got your Sumatra. Your Sumatra is a more mild cigar. So as your flavor profile builds, you're gonna like taste like the earthy, like just like coffee. It's like the reason why coffee and cigars go so well because they're grown like in the same soil, in the same regions, and they have the same flavor notes. Like you get a lot of that cocoa, you get a lot of that earthy taste, you get a lot of that peppery taste. You know what I mean? So depending on the cigar and depending on where it's grown and the time it was harvested, you'll taste those different flavors. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we got Connecticut, Sumatra.
And then you got your Maduro, which is your full body.
Okay.
So your Maduro, which is a full body cigar, you got different gauges. So you can get like a really big one or you can get a small one depending on how long you got to sit there and smoke. The biggest thing is like with that one, the Maduro, it's a heavy full body cigar. So it's going to get you a little, you're going to feel it when you smoke it, but you also need to eat something when you before you smoke that cigar because
it might be lights out.
It's just like some coffees, man. If it's a heavy dark coffee, you gotta have something in your stomach before you just take that to the head. So I like to draw those similarities. But the first time I ever drank coffee, I didn't like it. I'm gonna tell you. Right. But over time, I had like your Folgers or whatever. That's that's trash. Gas station coffee is trash. But you don't know coffee's coffee when you first start drinking it. Right. But then once you start drinking like your Ethiopian Yarachoff and your Hawaiian Kona and your Jamaican Blue Mountains, then you see the difference. You know what I mean?
It's more rich, probably.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not that it's just the more you get different flavors throughout the drinking process, but then you don't get all the acidity. Okay. So it's not as bitter. It's just smooth and it's flavorful. Okay. You know what I mean? Your Hawaiian Kona and your your Hawaiian Kona and your Jamaican Blue Mountain is two of the most expensive coffees. They're like $40-$50 a pound. Jeez. Yeah, but it's good. Like if you ever just get a half a pound one day. If you like coffee, for anybody who likes coffee, just get a half pound and sit there and drink that. And
of which one? My bad. Of the.
So I would start with the Jamaican Blue Mountain.
Jamaican Blue Mountain. Okay.
Because I prefer. That's my preference, and then get you some Hawaiian Kona. Okay. But just sit down and try versus all the coffees you ever had, and when you drink it, you'll see the difference.
Okay.
You definitely see the difference.
I only know two types: the Bodega and Bustelo. Like,
That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And the Bodega is not an actual brand. That's just the.
It's just whatever they use in the Bodega. That's what we accustomed to. Facts.
Like, I didn't even know any of that.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna bring some, y'all.
Yeah.
I'll bring us some. We'll bust it up.
Yeah. Put us on game. We have a cigar and then have some Jamaican coffee. And just make it
all together.
A lot of people don't know this too, and this is what I was telling some cats on my first cigar bar crawl. Is the Jamaicans been growing coffee longer than the Cubans.
Mm-hmm.
Cubans is more popular, and then worldwide, like everybody, when they smoke a cigar, they think about Cubans.
Why is that?
Just because the Cubans are more popular, they do have rich and dense soil, and it grows really good cigars. Mm-hmm. And they've been making really good cigars, and they made a lot of money, but the Jamaicans been doing it longer. But the real reason why it's more popular in Cuba than it is in Jamaica.
Why?
Because it's black. They're black.
I know that.
They're black. But the Jamaican tobacco is really the soil in Jamaica is so unique. That's why you got the Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. Mm-hmm. It's grown in the Blue Mountains, which gives it it's a specific type of climate and that specific type of region that gives the coffee that specific flavor.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's why it's so valuable and so rare. Mm-hmm. Same thing with their cigars. So they grow their cigars in similar territory. They got there's a cigar, it's a Jamaican Blue Mountain cigar, and they grow the tobacco in the same region they grow the coffee. So that it's more expensive still.
Our culture doing it again, just not getting the recognition for it.
Oh,
always. We always be the ones to be the first ones to do stuff and never get the recognition,
the credit or nothing for that.
Yeah, somebody else take it over. It's just we just gotta kick in the door a little bit better and do things.
Now I'm gonna speak this into existence because this is what I want to happen. Speaking on a cigar note, so once I get my lounge. Obviously, I'm gonna go through the same process. Alan Jim already gave me the play. I'm gonna run that same play. So, but I want to go with Foundation Cigars because Foundation Cigars, the guy that runs is Nicaraguan Nick. He used to work for Drury Estates. Drury Estates made the flavor cigars, which a lot of people start out with the acids, the blondies, the toasts, all of those. So he left because the quality started going down because they started manufacturing more.
Mass producing.
Yeah. So he's left and made his own joint. Now with his the flavor one he has is the Foundation cigar, the Upsetter. Mm-hmm. So the Upsetter they got the Django, the Zola, they got all these, but they got a Jamaican flag on it, and they use Jamaican cow tongue tobacco with a Nicaraguan wrapper.
Interesting.
Now that tobacco is it's a really good quality tobacco. You know what I mean? So it's similar. When I smoke it, I get the similar vibes of the Cuban. Okay. You know what I mean? Just because it's grown.
It's grown.
It's grown in a region as rich as dense as Cuba. Right. You know what I mean? So I get the same vibes. But yeah, man, that's what I want. I'm speaking into existence. I'm gonna give a foundation. They're gonna make my house cigar, and we're gonna make $1 million a month.
That's it. Speaking into existence, like you said, until it happens. And then the most important part, like you said earlier, take action. Oh, yeah. Don't just think that it's gonna fall in your lap. Right. Because it's definitely not. You see, he out here hustling and bustling for his. Talking about Connecticut's and Sumatras and Jamaican and Blue Mountains and all that. Don't front like y'all ain't learned something today. Stop it. Don't do that to us. But that's a beautiful thing. I was gonna ask about the cigars, man. As far as smoking the cigars, how do you recommend it? You know what I mean? Because some people just be out there. It ain't that type of, No.
That right there you can't do.
That's great. But a lot of people don't know. Because I didn't know when I first started smoking cigars. But yeah, a lot of people don't know. So this is for those who never smoked that want to give it a try, give it a shot. You don't actually inhale it into your lungs. Okay. So when you smoke a cigar, you puff it and you keep it up here in your mouth. You know what I mean? You puff it, you hold it in, and you blow it out. But you don't inhale. Okay. That's one of the things. And there's different ways to cut the cigar and light the cigar. I teach all of this on a cigar bar crawl because you got to cut it right and you got to light it right so you get an even. Because if you light it wrong and it burns wrong, it can distort. It can get too hot and it can distort the flavor of the cigar. Okay. If you light it and you breathe in the butane from your lighter, which can ruin the cigar. So it's a lot of things, you know what I mean, that you're not supposed to do, like do's and don'ts.
But come to the crawl, man. If y'all want to learn a little bit on, cigars and like the history and different types and, just network and meet people, come to the crawl. Check us out.
Yeah. Just look. I told you, we got a connoisseur over here, man. Like, that's it. Like, and then for all y'all who didn't get how to smoke it, if you smoke hookah, smoke it like you smoke hookah.
Mm-hmm. Don't inhale. That's it. Like that's
don't inhale it.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't inhale, please.
Yeah, just don't do it. You're gonna
You'll
die
be
young.
lightheaded.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely
Gonna die young. Which brings me to the life insurance.
Hey, talk about it, man. Talk about it. You want to get into it.
No, we just briefly. So, I think everybody should have life insurance, just because not only is it protecting your life. All right, so let me do this. Mm-hmm. And this is what I had the last conversation with one of the young guys, because I went to a construction site and I talked to a lot of the young guys at the construction site. One of the person that owned the company told me to come out and talk to him, because everybody was like, I think under the age of like 23. There's about probably 8 of them. So,
A little louder.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So it was about I did. I feel bad. So it was about 8. It was
He
about
got
8.
real comfortable.
Yeah, I was like, I'm chilling like I'm at the crib.
That's good though. That's good
That's
though.
the
You feel
vibe.
comfortable.
Yeah, I do feel comfortable. I do feel comfortable. So appreciate y'all once again for bringing. So real quick with the life insurance though, everybody should have it. Number one. But a lot of times when people, especially in our culture or black people, we historically have always had life insurance. So don't never let nobody give you the misconception that we have not had life insurance. We always had it from the time of Reconstruction to now. But the difference was a lot of us had term policies. A lot of us didn't have whole life policies. So the term policies, everybody would get it. And then what will happen, once that policy, or you have it at work and people will work, and you retire at 65 or you retire at 50, your work policy is canceled because it was only good while you were working. Now you want to get life insurance and it's too expensive. You can't afford it.
Because you're too old.
You're too old. Well, there's still options, so you can still get an annuity. But it's just like the life insurance thing is not really a feasible option for you at 60, 70, 55.
What I was trying to say was, like, the younger you get it,
Yeah,
the less the cheaper it's going to be.
Yeah, cheaper it's going to be. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, and this is what happens, because when I really get into it and get into the meat and I explain to the people, they're like, yo, I would have been got, like, how come nobody ever told me, like, the way you broke it down? And it's just like, all right, let me explain this to you. When people are talking to life insurance agents, number one, life insurance agents are taught to ask the budget. Like, what's the budget? What you working with? So they'll ask the budget, and anytime I go somewhere and somebody asks me my budget, obviously I'm going to tell you the lowest amount, because I don't want to pay for nothing. I want to get the best deal I could possibly get. So niggas will be like, oh, between $10 and $20 a month. So now the life insurance agent's trying to get a deal, and the other person's trying to get the cheapest thing. So there's no other, like, he already know if I can get him in that range, I gotta sell.
Right.
And then other guys like, get me in that range, I'll buy it.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So there's no exchange of information. There's no, like, he's never going to get what he's really supposed to get.
Like the information.
Exactly.
The feed and the...
So this is what gets lost in translation in between that, because that's what I explained to, the person. Like, I don't know why ever told me this. I'm like, yo, this is why. I explained that situation. Now, when you get whole life insurance, a lot of people don't know is, but people are starting to find out because it's all over the internet.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, whole like this, whole like that. It's everywhere. But the truth, whole life has a living benefit as well as a death benefit. The death benefit is a bonus. I call it an aggressive savings plan because that's what it is. If you're saving $100 a month and you put it into your bank account, you're only getting a fraction of a cent on that money.
Right.
But if you put that same money you save into a life insurance policy, you're going to get 6 to 5% on your money every year. Now, we're running a special right now to where, let's say you got like 10 grand in your bank account. We're giving you 10% guaranteed on that 10 grand and 6% every year after that. In a whole life policy. We're not talking about like an IRA or any other wild type investment. We're talking about whole life. And cats don't know, like, yo, this is a fundamental, ground level, basic investment you need to make and build in your empire.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Since we're talking about whole life insurance, we talked about capital. Explain to us how people can borrow from their whole life insurance to gain capital for their next venture.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to tell you when we was talking about off camera. We was talking about the house situation and everything like that. So Dope strategy, super dope strategy, and this is you can use it for anything. So, always number one, job, business. So you gotta have some income coming in, and I'm just giving you a play right now. Job, business, you got that, good. You got income. It's always good, like in your younger years, like me and my man did. You can always work 2 jobs or whatever, but save up and hustle and make sure you have that, number one. Number two, you gotta have a bank account, a checking and a savings. 2,000 in your savings, and then in your checking, you want to have whatever your monthly bills are. Right? Now you get a credit card. This is the third step. You get a credit card. You get a limit that's gonna be the same amount of your monthly bills. Right?
Okay.
But they're giving you points, or they're giving you cash back or something. You pay all your bills with your credit card.
Right.
And then you pay your credit card every month with the money in that checking account. It's allocated for that.
Because you was gonna pay it anyway.
You're gonna pay it anyway, but now
Fucking
you're getting paid to pay it because you're getting them points and everything from the credit card company.
Don't stop. Just keep going. Because I
Keep
don't
going
want to
with
mess. Yeah, mess
all
all the
right,
time.
I'm sorry.
Don't cut yourself off.
All right, now the fourth step is you get a high yield savings, right? The high yield savings, you put all of that money that you had in your savings, that $2,000, and you keep building up. You put that into a high yield savings, so you're getting a little something on it. You know what I mean? Then you're going to stop putting your savings and you're going to start putting that into a Roth IRA, or you put that into a 401k, or you put into another investment vehicle. I would just say a Roth IRA, and you go ahead and put like $300 to $500 a month.
Okay.
All right, last step of the play, or you could put this anywhere, you get your life insurance policy. A life insurance policy, because now you got some stability. You've been working there a year, you've been working there 2 years, 3 years. You get your life insurance policy, and you could borrow from that to, pay off your crib or something in 10, 20 years.
See?
Doesn't cost you anything.
Gems. Nothing. Gems. That's a drop. That's a drop.
That's the play.
That's the play.
That's the play.
He did it. He spoke it, recorded, run it back, and hear it again. That's how you do it. And the thing is, people have been doing this for years.
Oh man,
Yeah, we just now being privy to the information.
That's what I'm saying. Because you can't really blame the insurance companies. You can't blame the agent. You gotta blame the way the process is being taught. So the way they teach it is get their budget, and once they get your budget, then they go and it locks y'all into that lowest level performing thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you go in with an open mind and you be like, yo, let me learn this thing. And let this person teach me, because the person will teach you. That's we have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients. You know what I mean? To put them in the best position. But never limit yourself with that budget thing, because I tell people everything, and I be like, ask questions, because I didn't know everything about. I'm still learning. I'm still taking classes, but I do know about this whole life thing, and I do know about term, and it's better to have term than nothing.
Right.
So I'll be like, I give people options, because when you go in a grocery store and you look around the grocery store, nobody's trying to sell you nothing.
No.
You know what I mean? In the grocery store, you got the cheapest option, and then you got the most expensive option, whatever you're looking at.
Yeah.
Now, it's your choice on what you want to put in your body. You know what I mean? You can put in the most expensive. I always go mid-grade.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right there in the middle.
I always go
But
mid-grade.
don't limit yourself.
But I got options.
Right here.
And that's what I do with my clients. I just give them options. I tell them all the information. I'll be like, look, boom, 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 boom. But I'll say, I'm not going to count your pockets or nothing. I'm not going to ask you a budget. But here's the most inexpensive option. This is going to give you just coverage, maximum amount of coverage for the lowest amount of money. That's your annual convertible term. Annual convertible term is goes for a year. Every year it renews and it goes up. Then you got your regular straight term. So you got your 10-year, 20-year, 30-year.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's locked in. But you're not building no cash value. You're not getting no interest, nothing. You can't borrow from it. Then you got your whole life. And your whole life builds in interest. You get a dividend with our company. It builds cash value you can borrow from. So like the example I was trying to tell you, instead of paying that extra money every month on your mortgage, put it into your whole life policy, and then borrow from your whole life policy, pay off the crib.
Yeah. That's the next plan, bro. That's the next play, like you said, for sure. I love that. And then I also want to add to that too, not just about the borrowing portion and getting the money, but I recommend everybody to have life insurance, because God forbid you have to use it and have to get paid out. Like, I'm gonna just say it like this: a lot of our young people are getting killed nowadays, right? And how many stories do you hear where the killer was never found, right? Like, but when you got life insurance, like, that life insurance company makes sure that the police investigate that situation. You know what I mean? Because they have to pay you out, right? And a lot of times they don't pay you out. Oh, you didn't have life insurance? Oh, the killer got away, da-da-da. They don't care. But when you have life insurance, when you're covered, they have to legally investigate the case going through, you know, because the life insurance company pays out hundreds of thousands of dollars to the family, you know. So,
That makes sense.
yeah, so it's not just about, it is about the whole life insurance and building the capital and everything, but the way our culture is, you know what I mean? We also want to protect ourselves and making sure that, you know, we ain't doing dumb wrong. You know, I can go a lot deeper into that, but you get what I'm trying to say, you know. So just protect yourselves and your families, and hopefully that we never have to even have that conversation, or you don't even have to get to that point, you know. But I just wanted to drop that on y'all too.
I want to get to a point in America where every black person, man, woman, and child has $5 million in coverage.
That's how they do it. That's how they do it.
But I'm just saying, like, just think about that. For example, like, just think about a solution to a lot of our problems. If every black man and child had $5 million in coverage, you think we have as many police killings?
No, you definitely won't, because that money's gonna come from their pension,
Right.
and they gonna be like, oh, whoa, we depleting the savings now.
Sorry, y'all killing too many niggas.
Right, for real. So it's gonna be some executive decisions that's gonna be made.
Well, cops will have to carry their own liability insurance.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. Stuff is gonna change, so therefore they can't just do stuff all willy nilly no more. So it's gonna be affecting them, and that's fact. So we definitely spoke about that in an episode before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
gotta beat them at their own game. You know what I mean? Be smarter about it. You know what I mean? So
We
I
coming.
love that. Yeah. So, I mean, you got any last thoughts? Any last gems?
Yeah.
Tell us where
so,
they can find you.
all the above.
All the above.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Last thing for me is, you know, creativity, imagination. Make sure you use that. It don't matter how successful I am, how successful my business is. It's about building a code. Like, when I die, when I leave here, when I leave this planet, it's going to be about how many people I helped, how many people I influenced. So that's what I'm all about. But Level 3, my car rental company, is www.l3cs.com. You go to the website, you can look at the inventory, video, product of my man here. He made my video for me.
Jones.
So appreciate that.
Yeah, that was love. That was love. Appreciate
Definitely Cigar Bar Crawl. You can get that on the website as well. And agent with New York Life. So you can look me up on Facebook, man. My Donel Durham is my name. Tons of videos on there, tons of content about, you know, the benefits for life insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, you came through. Gave us another classic, man.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And most importantly, you raise your voice.
No smooth criminal.
Yeah. We got a lot of stuff to chop up for y'all, because, you know, we hope that y'all watch it through and through, but we gonna make sure y'all get these gems from Donel, man, for sure. Like that. I mean, first and foremost, thank you for even wanting to come back. You know what I mean? Like, be real. You know what I mean? Just like some people here and they gone. You know what I mean? Or didn't like the vibe. And we try to bring our audience and our guests the best experience possible, but you know how it is. You know, but like, once you brought it to our attention, I'm like, yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Like, why not? It's the years passed, a lot has happened. And we were supposed to do it from that first conversation.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we just had
facts.
talked about so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we got to get you back. So the fact that we took action, we made it happen, you know what I mean? It's all worth it. So, but yeah, check out my man Donel. If you're in Pittsburgh, go get a car rental. If you're anywhere else.
Orlando. We're in Orlando too. We got vans in Orlando.
Anywhere else.
No, it's just Pittsburgh and Orlando right
Pittsburgh
now.
and Orlando. So if you're in the Pittsburgh and Orlando area, make sure you come check my guy.
Tune in, Level 3.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Level 3. One more time. What's the website? One more time.
www.l3cs.com.
L3cs.com. Let's go, man. And we got another one for you, okay?
I'm Chaz.
We got our special guest, Donel. And that's the episode of Culture Content